it was I okay, right, cool. So let's go. Okay, let's start with the master of master, the Dixie. Let's start with the Dixie.
Mm.
So Dixie, I made some notes actually. So last week I didn't make any notes. I forgot. I make some notes. So notes, cancel that. So oh, I need to reload this. Reload. Because I've got two screens. So when you do something on the other screen, it doesn't reflect here unless you reload.
Mm.
Okay, so let's see. I did make some notes on the Dixie. Dixie, here we go. Let's cancel that. Is it there? Yeah, okay. So we have a triple red on the weekly chart. Uh, I do expect a good bounce back up from this candle. I expect some bounce up before going further down. When I look on the 4 hours, uh, it supports that move to the upside. So we've got three divergences on 4 hours, one here, two here, three here. So at least at the very least, come back to retest the 200 or even the 21 as a bounce before continue going down. So that's
Mm.
how I see the Dixie playing out. More downside, but I do expect a small bounce first.
I couldn't agree more. I must give you props for your early prediction of a further downside because the support zone that I was looking at, couldn't hold anymore. It broke through. But it did bounce back and forth around that support. It struggled at that support, and that was what I failed to recognize was something on one of my charts that I didn't look at. We're looking at the Dixie because I was expecting a 3 point wave move, right? Let me see if I can
Mm,
load up this. When I'm using Zoom, loading up my trading view charts on the same computer, it takes forever. But it's coming. Give it a second. But I want to be able to show you the time frame that I think it was 4 hours. Yes, so go to the 4 hour chart because I think that's what we were discussing, the 4 hour chart. Yeah, it was
mhm,
4 hours. Um, so on the 4 hour chart on the Dixie, what was happening is that I had noted this support zone and I was quite confident that support zone was going to hold, right?
mm,
So came below it. We first bounced so many times on it. Then we came below it. Of course, that gave you your win. That was the following day you got your win. But technically, that was the following day, so it doesn't count as part of our deal. Um, we didn't say if it goes down on X day. We just were talking about that particular day. So anyway, back to the conversation. So I was expecting this to be a 3 point move. And the 3 point move is from the top down to the Wednesday, 15th of January, right? So go to the 15th of January. You see a long week there, right? Not to the right,
mhm, mhm,
that week.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
So
mhm,
from the very top where we had the shooting star, if you
mhm.
go on the daily chart, that was the daily chart has a shooting star. You could just flip right to the daily chart and you see that shooting star. I've been tracking that shooting star
This
to
one,
the no left. Go to the left.
this one,
Left, further left, further left.
this one,
No, further left. Go, go,
this
go, go,
one.
go. Oh, the shooting star. The next one. Yes, right there. That's the shooting star. No, to the right. I saw the mark to be clear, blue mark to be chassis.
This one,
Yes, that's one. That star.
the
That one.
stopping candle.
Correct. Yeah, okay, you call that stopping. That's the shooting star. Ever since he had that shooting star, this is why I was very much in favor that this thing has to do a pullback before a continuation because it just came down to hit the wave one, which is the long green candle on 4 hours that I was just showing. So let's go back to the 4 hours. Yeah. So that long green candle that we hit there, that was the first bounce. That's in my opinion is wave one. Then we went all the way to form wave two, and this is how I kind of count Elliott waves. It goes also with the cycles. I can show you that later. But wave two was on the 17th. So 17th, you hit that peak right there. Exactly. We hit that peak on the actually it happened on the 17th, not the 19th, 17th. Correct there. That small candle told you that that move up was done. And I was expecting it to come down, which did happen. The only thing is that I was expecting this support zone to hold for continuation. Now I'm saying all this to give you a reason of why I'm saying all this. Okay. So when this support, if this support has held, okay, and that is where I got disappointed. This support failed after it formed the wave three. So the wave three is where you won your game, where we came below the 204 hours. That candle it's kind of like Hammer Bisa. That was the end of the
This
wave
one.
three.
This
Correct.
one.
So exactly. So that's wave three. So you've done one, two, three. So when we came below it and we bounced above, I was assuming, and this is where the wave four started coming back. This happened on Friday. So when we went up, this was supposed to continue its journey if the uptrend was going to stay intact. Okay. Obviously, it failed Friday, came to it on Friday. Actually, on Friday is when it broke through it, broke through that 200 line to the further downside. To now, ultimately, it's going to create another point of support. I mean, yeah, we get a small bounce before that support. Totally, I agree with you. Totally, we get some support. Um, probably a move up to probably somewhere around, give or take, this thing can move all the way to 107.365. Um, it could also just consolidate there and finally make its journey. Uh, Finally make its journey to the next support zone. I'm assuming the next support zone is around 106, 106 point 106.763, between 106, let's say between 106 and 106.763. So
Mm.
just to conclude my long talk, that's my target for Dixie in the coming week. That Dixie comes all the way to somewhere between 106, 106
Mm.
fall between 106 and 106.7 63. I doubt 763 is going to hold. It will get a little bounce before it's going to push it through that. It's a strong support zone, but it probably will break through it because that then completes the wave five. So it becomes on this 4 hour setup, you go on the 4 hour setup, it becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Elliott wave correction. So this is a much deeper correction than the three wave that I was expecting. Three waves are usually continuations. Five waves in my study so far is a deeper correction, which means Dixie is going to fall some more after this five-wave correction. It will get some bounce up. Probably we'll see where that bounce up goes once this completes, but this is incomplete to me so far.
Mhm.
So I do expect Dixie to fall some more, and my minimum target is 106.7,
Yeah, that's
63.
fine. I can agree
Uh,
with those. I can agree with those numbers.
yeah.
I think for me, is the 20-day moving average on here on the weekly will be your next support zone, and I think from there it will get a small bounce again. It will get bounce back up, back to maybe somewhere back to where it is here, or even slightly higher to form a higher low, and then off you go. You collapse to the bottom side. But I mean,
Mm.
the if I, the Dixie is all this. I see all this is all this box here as a distribution to collapse. So, because we coming from here, we drop, we drop, we drop. Here we have a mini bounce. If you were counting, you say, okay, that's level one rise, fall, bounce, level two rise, fall, bounce, level three. So we still have our three level rises here from here all the way through there. We still got three level rises. And now you can hold on. What's that about? No, I don't want that. Sorry. S- Let me just uh tell them I'll call them back. Uh, okay, cool. Yeah, so and I think it's done. It needs to come back to retest the trend line here and then break the trend line. Then of course you got confirmation of the downside. So I think we're on the same page. But yeah, I just use my accounts to decide. So and I pick them up very quickly in terms of topping of charts. Okay, so let's go to Nasdaq. So Nasdaq also, I've got some notes here which I can share with you. So I did some notes this morning. So the weekly is triple green, so which suggests more upside. Um, I think we're in the last rise to the upside. So, but again, I still expect some pullback first before. So last week's call was on point. This is going to go up from last week. So man made a little bit of money on that one. They made a bit of money. He's trying to short it a little bit, but I know there's more upside. And so I think 23500 is possible before any correction. On the 4 hours, I see us bouncing up first, then coming below 21728, which is the 50 EMA on 4 hours. And it'll be a great place to buy. So if I go to 4 hours, we kind of starting to pull back. And I took the short after this candle. Um, and we kind of getting a bit of a reaction of this 21, which I don't think is going to last. It's going to go down all the way to at least the 50, but the 50 will also move up. So maybe this candle here becomes the zone of interest, this particular candle. So, somewhere there, somewhere around 21728, 2172, what would I say? On 4 would be a great place to buy next leg. Coming below 2 1, yeah. So it's coming below 2 1, which is this price here, 21728, which is where this came from. So we'll come below this candle. At the very least, we'll come below this candle before any continuation. So, but I think the area of interest will be probably for me this candle here. So around 21616. That would be probably a very good place to get a long short for this 23500 to materialize, because that will give me the full set of kind of uh, level rises on the weekly chart that will top it up. So, and I just go here. So we've got this for 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are in the fifth rise above zero on MACD. That's the last one. So as soon as MACD ticks up above zero, that will be the end of it, and we get some red candles following that. That's the end of the move on the Nasdaq. The same thing happened here. So, if you count it, count your weight, count the MACD waves, this pretty much from wherever the move started, which was here, that's one. You got your two, is it 2, 3, 4, and 5? So it's 5. If you can go and check it for the others, normally it's the same on the weekly chart. So and again, it's just divergences, divergences, divergences all through from here to there to there to there. And you can see the same pattern here as well. When we after here, from this to there, to there, to there, it's kind of divergence is all through from this particular zone. It's all downhill. So I'm expecting one more move, and I did kind of like some simple uh, calculation of, okay, if I'm looking for the last one, let me see what the last one was. So this one, the last one was 16% rise. Okay, so if I say, okay, we don't get even 16%, but we get, let's say we get 10%. So let's do it here from here, 10%. Even 10% is taking us to 2291. But if you do the full 15%, it takes you up to about 2625. So, which is not huge. I think it's normal to finish the move off. So that's my target in terms of the rise to the upside. So I see more upside, but of course, I think there's a small pullback first before the uptrend continues back to the 50 on the 4-hour chart. So that's where I am on the
So
Nasdaq.
you're expecting a further upside. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm expecting the Nasdaq to go up to about 2,300. See, on my between 2.3 and 2.5, between 2.3 and 2.5 as the
But yeah,
peak.
but you're confusing me because we're already at 2172. So what is you saying we're going to
2.2, 2.2, 300. Oh, hold on.
okay, 22 300.
Oh
Okay.
yes, oh, 23. Did I say 23 500? I actually put it as 23 500, but it's if I do the count again, it's 15%. 15% is yeah, 23 500. Oh, actually, it's right, yeah. 23 500, yeah. 23
Okay.
500. Is
I
that
just wanted to I just wanted to make sure I had the number you're trying to project clearly
yeah,
because
23 500 is my kind
you're
of
saying
top
you're
target.
saying 2,300. And I was like, I did, we're already at 21, so where is 2,000 coming from? Okay, I
Oh,
get you. Um,
22
I get
300, like 22 300, we are not there yet. 22
okay,
300
okay.
will be somewhere here, but
Now you're saying the right one. Yes, 22
yeah.
300, not 2,300.
Yeah, but I think 23 is 23 5 is even possible because when I
Okay.
compare, I'm just comparing the last move on this here, just this just this section. And I said, okay,
Mm,
let's tag just this section onto it from the base, 16%. So if you tag it from base here and just do 16%, that takes you into the 23.5 area. So yeah. So 23.6, 23.5 as kind of your final blow off top. And then we have a proper collapse back to the 200 moving average.
mm.
Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing on Nasdaq.
All right, that's a great perspective. I would beg to differ with the upside of Nasdaq so far. So, I mean, for this particular time, I think Nasdaq is due for a major correction, and some short will really deliver. Um, this if you so let me give you why. Sometimes I like to share my path of analysis. Maybe you might learn something out of it. So go on the 8 hour time frame. You could do 4 hours too, but 8 hours seems to work for me best. Um, so if you're on the 8 hour time frame, you'd realize that again, Nasdaq did the five. This is similar to what I'm expecting Dixie to do when it finishes. Okay. So
Mhm,
Nasdaq did a five-wave correction. It did a big move down from the very top. Okay, we came to find
mhm,
some support with a nice hammer on December 20th. All right, December
mhm,
20th, we had a nice support. We bounced back up, made a lower high. This lower high was a signal to say there was further downside to Nasdaq.
mhm.
Unfortunately, at that time, I didn't catch this because I wasn't doing what I'm doing now anyway, trying to figure this out. It's something new. So we bound a lower high, came to make an equal high, an equal low. This equal low deceived me, thinking that it was done.
Which
But
one?
guess what?
You mean this one or what?
The one that occurred on 2nd January.
This 2nd of
2nd
January.
January, to the
2nd of
left, to the left, second,
January.
to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, further left, right there.
But
Yes.
it's not the same though. This is lower than this. This is lower.
Yeah,
This one is
the first one is slightly
2775,
lower than the second one. But I can only
2775
say
and
when you're
21,
looking when
21.
you're looking at these wicks, when you're looking at these wicks, is there or thereabout? Because
No, it's not.
the
Oh,
wicks,
yeah.
the wicks,
Look at this. Look at it properly. Like look at this, where this is, and look at where this is. And we are talking
yeah,
20 what? 20.
it's not a huge difference. It's
It
not a
is
huge difference.
2700 and 20 what? 2825. That's a big difference.
It's
It's about almost
maybe
500, 600 points. 600 points. That's a
in
lot.
in your calculation, you would say it's a huge difference. From my view of counting things or measuring things. It's yeah, I see there's a difference, I can see there's a difference, but the difference is not in my opinion, is not that huge. It's thereabout because these wicks can be quite long,
Mm.
which is usually traders' emotions. And so one time the emotion is so strong than the other. But
Okay.
it's
Okay.
just
I get it. I get it.
let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If
so
if if you are
without
if you are
the
talking
so
about the bases, maybe the bases are not far. So yes.
yeah, so technically we did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern down, completed it on 13th January. 13th January, we completed that, and then we started a bounce up, making a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounce ups. But it's minor. You will see the five up. I can see it, but you may not see it because it all seems like it's an uptrend, a lower high, lower, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. So let's assume yes, a nice uptrend up to the 86% retrace. Okay. Now,
Mm.
this was going to do two things when it got to this level. You were either going to exceed the previous lower high and make a double top. If you didn't make a double top, that would have been super bearish. But because we didn't make a double top and we just hit the previous lower high
You mean here?
distance, yes, right there, the previous lower high, right? That's where it landed to. It couldn't go to the previous all-time high to form either a double top. In my opinion, and I might be wrong, but that's just my judgment.
Mm.
That tells me another correction is going to happen, where
Mm.
it's going to be, since we did a 5 wave down and we have done this retrace to the 86%, which is the previous lower high. We're going to do another, at the minimum, a 3 wave down minimum. I expect 5, but I would first go for the 3, and
Mm.
depending on how the 3 folds happen, I could predict that there will be a final flash down, which would be the 5th wave down. But for
Right.
now, I'm looking at Nasdaq to do a 3 wave down. Our first position down probably could come all the way down to 21, and that's going to take several days, maybe, but who knows?
Mm.
21,250, 21,250 is my target, initial target. 21,250 will be initial target
21 to 50,
for
which is somewhere
Nasdaq.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that one, 21 to 50, I can agree with you on terms of the pullback. Um, but
Now, of course,
why are you not why
yeah,
just a question obviously I understand the argument points on 8 hours and the counts on 8 hours. But why don't you do the same count on your daily or on your weekly? Because clearly
so
it needs to be on a higher time frame for it to end, right? So
okay,
if you're saying it's ending, then the question is, okay, how does it mirror here on your weekly chart? I just want to understand. So starting from
okay,
here, how would you count your pattern and where is it?
okay. So on the weekly, right? So
Mm,
on the weekly is technically done a 5 move up, right?
mm,
Now, if we are not able to take out the previous high, which was at 22,135, I think so. Oh
yeah,
no,
22,135. Yeah.
22,135, yes.
Mm,
And the reason why I brought you to the lower time frame is to see whether we'll be able to take out the all-time high of 22,135. Is
mm.
there evidence that this thing will be able to master strength based on the weekly setup? Because, of course, the weekly you close with a green candle, a green volume. And I think MACD
MACD is
is
also
okay to
green.
be
It's also
would be
green as
green.
well. Yeah.
Yes. So you would expect a further upside. But then on the lower time frame, it's telling me, okay, is there energy to the further upside? I'm looking at it on the 8 hour time frame. I'm seeing, so if you look at something that I remember you were asking me, if you look at the volume, look at 8 hour candle, right?
Mm,
And then you look at the candlestick that we formed, okay? The volume tells me there are a lot of there was some buying to hold up the price. That's why the candlestick is not that long. The body of the candle is not that long, which means there was
Mm,
some buy. But it
yeah.
also tells me there was a lot of shorting taking place,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot, to
Mm-hmm.
have prevented this candle from even moving further up and turning it red. That tells me people are taking a lot of short positions. Why would they take a lot of short positions? They know something I don't, and I'm just using that as a guide. But bringing it back to the weekly, if you come to the weekly, I want you to see the 5 count on the weekly. So on the 5 count on the weekly, you may have to go all the way back to the beginning, well, the scene of the crime. All right.
5th of
This this
August.
whole, this whole scene started in 2022. So if you go back to 2022, October 10th, as a matter of fact, I remember when this whole rally and Bitcoin started rallying to that time in Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
2022. All right.
Yeah.
So that base of 2022 was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From that base, we first hit a high. Then we came on
Where should I go to?
on the weekly chart, go to the dates. So your first high happened actually on December 12th. See that long week on December 12th.
December 12th. This one, yeah?
Okay, that was your first high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was your first high. That high did not come and make a lower low on the on what date is this? On January 2nd, Monday, January 2nd, 2023. You form a nice hammer, you know. Like I said, these days when I mean if I put attention to the charts.
You count. You just count.
Okay,
Show me the count.
so look at January, yeah, look at your January 2nd,
So
Monday, January
we
2nd.
got 12. So you said 12 of January is one, right? So where's the next one?
Right? No, so come to January 2nd, go to the right.
January 2nd. Mm-hmm.
Right there, correct. Monday, 2nd January 2023. You formed your nice hammer, which was a higher low than your October 22 low.
Mm-hmm.
That hammer was your count two. That hammer is what started the whole journey.
Right. Okay.
That hammer,
So one here,
from
two
that
here.
hammer,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, that hammer right there. From
That's
that
two.
hammer, that's two. All right.
Where's
So
three?
I'm showing you your 5 counts.
Where's
So
three?
from that hammer, it moved all the way to the stopping candle that happened on Monday, July 17th.
Yeah.
So Monday, July 17th, you hit the stopping candle.
So that's three. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's three. That whole week, we tried going back to that stopping candle, couldn't make it to that high. And then guess what? We did a three-wave down, one, two, three, that ended to your count of four. Your wave four ended on October 23rd, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah, I'm
So
there.
after the week after October 23rd, we had an engulfing bullish weekly candle. That green strong candle propelled it for the wave three. I mean for the wave five. Uh, in this case, yes, one, two, three, four, five, right? So that was wave five, beginning from October 23rd, 2023. And it was a nice rally up, very beautiful, nice rally up. So that ended wave five, and we're doing an extension of the wave five. So from the wave five,
Okay.
which
So
ended, to
let me
me,
just one.
some people will say the wave five did not end, but in my opinion, the wave five ended on July 8th,
You
2024.
say this is three. I'm just counting the even numbers. You say this is five, right? Okay. Just so I'm
Yeah, no,
following.
no,
One, three,
five
five.
is July 8th. July 8th, you have a doji,
July
and from
8th.
that doji indecision, yes, right there.
July, June.
Further right, go to the right, to the right, to the right. Far to the right. There, yes.
This one. So
Right there. To the right.
what's this? We're jumping from three and we are leaving this move here and we jump
Because
into five.
that move did not I wouldn't count that one, the one that the hesitation that occurred here, right? This hesitation that occurred on March 18th, is that the one you are questioning?
No, it's like, okay, we moved from here. I get this one, right? That's one. Oh, you counting all this as three because obviously you've got your one, two, three. I'm not counting the even numbers. I'm just counting your odd numbers. So one, two, two, one here, two,
If you're
three,
counting the odd
four.
numbers, yes, then 1, 3, and 5 is what you are counting.
Yeah, which is what I'm counting. So,
And 3
so
occurred on July 17th, and then 5 occurred on
you're saying
July.
here, right? You're saying here. So I think my
Yeah.
question is, you said there was
No,
hesitation here. And
yes.
so you won't count this whole level.
No, I won't count. I won't count that because I see that as hesitation, not a full corrective count to a support
What would
point.
be what would classify as hesitation? What makes something hesitation
Okay,
on the
hesitation,
chart?
hesitation. Okay, so for me, hesitation in this case was consolidation. You realize that price was stuck within a range. It could go up to the top. You had several candles going to the same high.
You mean
You
here?
know, yes, the one that you are questioning. Yes, you have so many candles hitting that same high. At least on
Mm,
the weekly, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. At least about 4 candles go to the same, right about the same high. This the high of 18,395, they're about. You
yeah.
had so many candles poking there. To me, that's where I usually will say, okay, it's trying to build strength to break through, because
Mm,
it's like a wall. You hit it many times, you're more likely going to break through. It wasn't, yes. Oh, did we come down on the 15th of April? Yes, we did.
mm,
But that come down, just choose not to count it. And I don't count it because of what happened here on
on the tops
August
here,
5th.
on the tops there.
Yeah, yeah. Now, number one, that's the hesitation. But also on the bottom, we came to an equal or close to an equal high, an equal low on 5th of August. So that 5th of August is more of a valid um, count for me than to count, this pullback. I take this as a nice pullback,
Right,
you
okay.
know. It's,
Okay.
I can't
And
count enough.
no, I've got it. I just wanted to understand the reason why you classify this as hesitation.
It's
At least
just,
I get it. I understand it now. So,
yeah.
okay.
But I also appreciate your question, because somebody doing minute count would count there and would make it a 6 count. In other words, you would do it a 1, 2, but in the same way. So that person that will count this one should also count 30th January high as a new high, and then come and make
which one?
um
Which one are you talking
30th
about?
30th January, go back down to the beginning of the move.
Hmm.
So on 30th January, you made a new high
Hmm.
from the
Hmm.
previous high.
Hmm.
You realize that?
Of course, yes. I can see
So
it.
yes,
I'm on
so
it.
on 30th January, somebody will count that as another count as maybe 1, 2, 3. You count that as 3. But
Mm,
if I go on, let's say, on an hourly chart, I could get more counts. But on a weekly count, I ignore some of these minor highs until I see a major high,
okay.
and
Okay. Okay, I
so
get
that's
it.
kind
So
of how
so
I look
so
at it.
you've done the 5 and you've had an extension and you had a
So we
stopping
are in the
candle. So
extension.
so so
Yes,
you're saying that's the end and you've done a lower high and you've gone to the 8
correct,
hours and you picked up there's a stopping candle. So of course
correct.
that's the end of the move. Okay, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Okay.
I get you
All
now.
right. So cool.
Okay. So
I'm
I
I'm
understand
glad.
your
I'm glad.
I understand your perspective. Though I don't think that is what is going to happen. So
That's fine. No,
we
no,
have to
no,
let the
no. Of
chat we
course.
have to let the chat play out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We have to let
For me,
the
for me,
chat
I
play
like
out.
I like to help you also see. Uh, this
No,
is knowledge. This
oh
is
yeah,
knowledge. This is knowledge I don't share with everybody but you. Let
yeah,
me put
this
it
is
that.
cross pollination. We are
Like
cross
how
pollinating each
how
other.
how I do these things, I usually would not share it. It will be When you'll be a discussion. I won't give you all this. I'll just tell you my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I keep how I got to my opinion personal, but
yeah.
with you, I shared those details with you.
I understand. Well, I mean, we have to learn. So
Extension,
we are learning from each other. So
sure.
we are
So
enriching each
this
other. And so I
so
understand
this
it.
extension that occurred after the move from August 5th, right?
Mhm.
A nice hammer that gave it the extension. This extension is not strong. It's losing steam. Why do
Mm.
I say it's losing steam? Um, the reason why we had to go up last week, this past week here, you see me, it's just because of the weekly setup. So weekly setup, you had a nice engulfing candle. You get an engulfing candle on the weekly chart. Yeah, you're definitely going to go up. But how high did we go? We couldn't go as high as last week's high. And the moment we start to make a lower high,
I mean,
particularly on a,
last week's high was what? 21548. We went as high as 21972. If you're talking about this high, the week of
I'm talking about
23rd
this,
of December,
I'm
then
talking about in respect to the all-time high.
all right, okay.
Okay, in respect to the all-time high.
Yeah.
You know,
But
because
but
I would have expected.
do you have to necessarily do it on this week? That's the question. Could it not be another week where he tries to do it?
It's possible. Yes.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
it's possible. So in hindsight, I don't discredit your analysis that we could go to 23, 300 or 23. As a matter of fact, on my chart, the target is 23,405. That's a target. Okay.
Mm, mm.
23,405 is what is on my chart as a target. Now, usually when I set these targets, I also want to be on the side of uh, error that we may not get there. And I try to find
You are
reason why
looking
we
at you're
may
looking
not
at the
get there.
pessimistic side to balance your
No,
analysis for the upside,
exactly. You
which
gotta
is
look at
valid, which is
yeah, you
valid.
gotta look at both sides. I
Yeah.
gotta look at both. I can't just blindly say, I have this target. This extension is supposed to reach the fit 1.27 level, which is the 23,405 level, and therefore it has to, you know, if it because we are in an extension, this is
Mhm,
if it
mhm.
was a complete wave and we are moving, yeah, I'll have more confidence. But extensions could be very short in nature, and usually they are.
Okay,
They don't last that long, really.
okay.
And
I
then,
mean,
of course, okay, so most times when you have these things, you want to go to your indications, your indicators. And one of them, obviously, is looking at your indicators. You can look at your MACD, you can look at RSI, you can look at this.
yeah. Okay,
Um,
I get you. I mean, I get you. I think we
but
just have to wait for the
yeah,
chart to print,
let
because
the chat print. But
we have
currently
a
as we speak, based on what I'm looking at from both the shorter time frame as well as the longer time frame, I'm more optimistic that uh, we come down and my
mm,
RSI is already on the daily chart is already pointing down. My B is getting shorter. That tells me okay. And then of course you have a red candle on the daily chart. So on the daily chart you have a red, red. I guess in your case it'd be red, 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 right? Or yours
yeah,
would
yeah,
be red.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you get a red, red. More likely when market opens come Monday or so, we'll probably maybe come in a little bit more down,
Mhm.
probably.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Um,
a little down, I agree with
yeah.
you. I don't
So and
disagree with a little down, but I don't think this is the end, because this is your first triple red above zero. I mean, if you go and look at all of them, you don't just collapse after the first triple red. You go down a little bit, you continue the journey. There's a few more triple reds that we're going to see on this daily print before the collapse happens. So
I mean it is
a pullback,
possible.
yes, I agree. Maybe back to test even the trend line to see if the trend line will hold.
Possible.
It's likely, and that's a likely outcome. But on the weekly chart, it doesn't support this move collapsing next week. It supports further upside first, even if it's going to collapse. It supports maybe a double top. If you call it a double top and say, okay, yeah, we'll get a double top and we'll collapse. I can agree with that. If you say, okay, we'll go up slightly to a certain point and collapse, I can agree with that. But if we say we're going to stop here, then this candle should have been red. And if this candle was red, I would have supported the kind of the analysis. But I think we'll just have to wait and let the chart print, and then we'll all learn something from it, as you always say. So let's
Sure.
let's let's go to maybe SPX, because SPX for me the setup is the same. And so my reasons are the same on the XPX, right? Which is we have a triple green on the chart, on the weekly chart. So I expect more upside into next week. Now, if I go back to my 4-hour chart and go and have a look at it, what we've got is we've got a stopping candle, we've come back down, and this candle always gives you more downside. We can go up first, but I think we'll probably end up, bouncing a little bit up slightly, or maybe just coming back down to test the 21 and then continue going up, based on the weekly setup. Um, so my kind of assertion is the same. It's the same print on the Nasdaq that you on this SPX comes here and then bounce up. And also is because the Dixie is falling, right? This thing I've been watching them. Dixie goes down, goes up, they fall. Dixie goes down, they bounce. Dixie goes up, they fall. If our conclusion is the same on the Dixie, that the Dixie will have a small bounce and go down, why will risk assets go down? It means the risk assets have more upside. So that's also another basis for my, bias of, okay, well, when I look on the weekly, it's not topped out yet. It's not giving any indication of we going down. Most of the time you get at least a red candle on the week and then you go down. A red candle on the week, then you collapse. A red candle on the week, you collapse. A red candle on the week, you collapse. There isn't any red candle yet. So maybe it's going to come next week, but even if it comes next week, it goes higher first. It will go slightly higher first and then collapse. So my basis for this SPX and NASDAQ is the same, and it ties in with obviously the Dixie's collapse as well, because the Dixie will have to go somewhere and find support. As we're saying, okay, we get support somewhere here, or maybe even support somewhere there. So if it's going to go down and get support here for a bounce, for a mini bounce, come and form your lower high, or maybe even go higher, who knows, But for that to happen, these assets are going to be free to reign. These risk assets are going to be free to run and do some moves to the upside while the master, sleeps a little bit. So my basis is the same for the SPX.
Mm, um, I do agree in principle with you that the structures are similar, both NASDAQ and XPS structural analysis look similar, except for one big difference.
Mhm.
Okay, so NASDAQ did not hit its previous or go above its previous all-time high on the same on the daily chart as we were looking at.
Yeah.
We came on NASDAQ, we came to hit the previous lower high when the journey started down.
Mhm.
Whereas with XPX, we actually went above the all-time high
Yeah.
with the rejection.
Mhm.
On 4 hours, you see the stopping candle beautifully
It-
printed there.
it's also on the daily chart. It's on the daily chart
Um,
as well. Triple red. We
well,
got triple red on the
yeah,
daily chart.
triple red on the daily, but the daily candle is not a stopping candle. It's just a rejection candle. It's just a red candle. Um, and it's trying to hold the previous high as support currently as we speak. So
Mhm.
it has come down to the previous high and it's trying to see whether that support is going to hold. The big question is this support going to hold for further upside? Probably yes. Um, Probably yes. But again, I go on a lower time frame, um,
Where do you want to go? 8 hours?
like
Or
8 hours, 4 hours. It's particular for me, 8 hours is fine. For me, 8 hours, it's not looking like it can hold. It, I doubt it will hold because MACD has been weak all along since 16th. You draw a line on MACD histogram bar, it's dipping down. And you look at the same time frame, this thing is going up. That's a divergence in play for that length of time. Um, could it be a pullback and continuation? I could probably stick my head out that it's possible, considering that RSI is still strong. RSI has been strong on mine, despite MACD showing weakness. RSI momentum is coming down, but there's still strength in the direction, uh, as shown by RSI. Currently, RSI on 8-hour time frame is also, so it depends on what happens when market open on Monday or Tuesday. But I see this as a perfect double top on the daily chart. You know, daily. I like double
So
tops
why
where,
don't you call this is done? Because like it's met your conditions for calling it,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you are
It's not,
you're more confident on this going up than the Nasdaq. But this one actually is much weaker because on lower time frame you got a double top on it. From
correct.
here.
This
So
this
so
this is so this is one that I'll be more bearish on. As a matter of fact, I took a shot on SPX on Friday. I took a shot on it.
yeah.
But the reason why I'm hesitant for this one, even though it's possible, is because of this double top, the previous high forming a support, right? Which
Uh, yeah.
possibly two things could happen. If you go on the daily chart, you will see that this previous high of 6,095 thereabout is still acting as a support. Now, could we just consolidate on this support to build strength and push up again since we have already taken that high?
Mm,
It's a big question. And I think we could. This is why I'm a little hesitant to call it, a complete reversal. If I had a divergence, strong divergence on this setup, right?
mm,
But I don't have a divergence on it. I mean, I
yeah.
don't. I don't have a
Yeah.
divergence on it.
No, there is, but there is divergence on the on the daily chart. Look at your peak here and compare it to your peak here and compare it this to that. If you draw a line, if this is this way, this is down. There's a divergence on it.
On the RSI.
Yeah,
Hold on,
there is.
let me zoom on my thing
Yeah,
and see.
there you go. Like, look at this section here, compare it to here. Let me put lines on it for
Yeah.
you. So,
Okay. So yeah, yeah. Based on your RSI setting, yes, there is divergence.
yeah,
I do see.
and
Yeah,
then
I do
put
see.
it on the here, and then make come out of it. You can see
Yeah.
this is higher, and this is
Correct.
lower,
Correct.
and this is that.
Correct.
So,
So yes, you're right, and actually it does show also on the MACD histogram bar. This is what I'll call inverse divergence, where your histogram bars prior to the previous high is shorter than this one. This one is much longer. But RSI does show it, so it's fine. So there is
oh
some
come on.
divergence, and I think XPX is done. I think XPX is done. It's just that I wish I could stick my head out when we break this. Uh, we break at least the one of the moving averages, or if we break the lower, if we break through here, that would be great. If we break
Yeah.
through this
So,
all-time high, then that will give me confidence.
so for
But
me,
for
like I
now,
said,
it's high risk, high reward. Okay,
yeah.
XPX to me, if you short XPX, it's high risk, high reward because I don't have full confirmation yet, and
Mhm.
I like the double top setup, but the double top hasn't confirmed by coming to the previous support point. Well, once we break that previous support point, that's your confirmation. You could
Yeah.
you could stick your head out, stick your money on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. If he breaks 6073 close below it, then yes, you have your confirmation. Uh,
Correct.
but but yeah, for me, no, I think I say there's more upside. You have to look at the higher time frame, and the trend hasn't changed, and then I look for, okay, what are the catalysts for it? And the weekly hasn't changed, and so at the very least, there's more upside. This is definitely strong because we've gone higher. The other one is also same. It's two candles. Two candles. There's going to be a third candle, at the very least, a third candle to the upside. So I've got this trend line here, which I drew from the base here. It's quite a goes all the way to the base here where the move started. And I cut it across here, cut it across the top here, cut it across here. I think I need to move this down a bit. I think it moved. So it's cutting cross here. And at some point, the price will hit somewhere there. It'll come and hit this line again. And then potentially at that point, yes, you can get your rejection back down. So sitting around, maybe if you put a line across here, six two, what, 6,250, between 6,250, 6,300, as the last move on it. And then hopefully at that point you can have a correction. So I think we have different perspectives on these two charts. So let's let it print and next week we'll learn something out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
for XPX, there are only two things I'm looking for before I can stick my nose where it doesn't belong, and that is a break below the previous all-time high. Which maybe Monday, Tuesday, we get that. That confirms my double top target. Um, it's not, but then the thing is, so this is where I always go to the lower time frame, for example, to try and
let me
to try
let
and
me
sneak into what could happen, right?
let
And
me move.
when I go to the 4 hours tells me, look, you have this rejection candle, you came back, you haven't found support yet. Yeah, there's some pushback, but you haven't found support yet. RSI is still pointing steeply down. My D is below zero on my chart. There isn't strength to push it. Yes. Would it be a pullback and continue that by the time we break below the previous high, I can tell. But for now, I'll stick my head out that there's a pullback. The pullback and into a reversal. I need a few more days to confirm that.
Oh,
But for
so
now,
so so
I'm
so at the
expecting a
moment,
pullback on Nasdaq.
okay. So at the moment it's a pullback
Yes.
to slightly. Oh, come on. What's this doing? I just want your
And
line where do you want me
if
to
you're asking me for
put me your
target,
line?
my target for Nasdaq for SPX pullback is 6,087.
Okay, 6,000,080,087, somewhere there. Okay, we are on the same
Yeah,
line. I mean, so we are on the same place, except I am saying I'm expecting continuation from here, and you're expecting
correct,
more downside.
correct.
Okay. So your short will deliver. You make some money, you make money on your short. But I would close it on that support line because it's a decision point, I guess. You play it safe until it breaks. If it breaks this support zone, closes below it, that's the safer trade. Close and confirm below, then you take your short. Then of course you're gonna make a lot of money. But um, so okay, that's fine. Let's move on to gold. Where is gold? Gold is another one. Okay, so gold. I made some notes as well on this on gold. Let's see what did I notes on my notes like. Okay, so I'll go to the weekly chart, and it's kind of a red candle. We have a red candle, which suggests more downside on gold. I don't really see any more. I go to lower time frame and I was looking for, okay, is there an opportunity for more downside? Um, and I can't see. So gold is, where did this move even start from? So if we go to the base here, that's the base here. So from the rise here, that's one, that's two, that's three, that's four, that's five. It's done. So from here, I get a red candle. I start thinking, okay, finished. I start shorting from here. I take my shorts from here. So, uh, but I was looking, okay, is there potential maybe one more bounce or whatever? Let's go and have a look. So I went to 4 hours, have a look at 4 hours, and yes, there is a potential for a bounce back up to somewhere here, 2226. That's potentially it can bounce to that point before continuing the journey down. So
Question, what gives it the potential?
these red candles they are always they are always a magnet for bounce to the other side first. Even though it's like I want to send you to uh, right? But I will send it left first. It's a confusion mechanism. I see it as a confusion mechanism on the chart, and it's always do the reverse of it. Red candles, people say selling. I see the red candle. Okay, look, yes, they're selling, but there's people being liquidated in the selling process. When your account is liquidated, you are buying. Especially when you short, your account turns from short to buy. And when you turn from short to buy, you push the price up. That's why sometimes they call a short squeeze. A short squeeze reverses the price. This is a liquidation event. This is a liquidation event. So people have been liquidated or are being liquidated. And when you liquidate people, the price goes the other way. And unfortunately, some people would then look at it and say, oh, okay, we've come to a support zone. Maybe I might take it. We're almost there. I will take a long. And all that mixing pushes the price up. It's very similar to this. Somebody who said this candle, you're going to go down some more. Well, guess what? And there's no downside. You bounced up to the 21. If you go and look at these big ones, I'm not talking about these hollow ones. I'm talking about these red ones, not the hollow ones. Any of the red ones you see, this red one, you always get bounce up first. Big red, you're going to get some bounce back. Uh, Big red, bounce back. Big red, you're going to get some bounce back off it. So, big red, bounce back. So it can go down a little bit more, but the bounce back will happen. So I always, if I'm going to take a short, I won't take a short until I see the bounce back because I'm always trying to do the reverse of the candles. The same way these candles, I see them, I take a short because I'm expecting people are also, the longs are taking profit, which means, and also shorts are being, longs are being no, shorts are being liquidated on this one. Sorry, this one was longs being liquidated. Shorts are being liquidated. So when they are buying, so okay, when you buy, price goes up. I get that, but equally, it brings price down because people sell. I'm taking profit. I'm selling. People who are short being liquidated for shorts are also buying. So everybody is buying. You go, sorry, no, longs are selling, and when they sell, they bring the price down. And people who also went short and the price goes way past their point is also being liquidated. So it's a combination of the two, means the price goes down first, and then you might continue. So as soon as I see this, I'm not looking, oh, let me buy. No, I'm looking for a green red candle. If it follows a red candle follows, I know there'll be more downside. If the next candle is also not similar in this color, there's more downside. You get some downside before, some downside. Of course, you got to know where the level is and where you are in the level. I mean, if you do it here, yes, you got some relief, some small bounce, but you know, the level, this is a level, is going to do another level. So you got to be careful what you do. But that's my reason for why I think this has a bounce. Even if you go to 15 minutes, I then went to 15 minutes and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get this bounce because all we've done is we've done here, all this to here is just basically the peak of RSI fall. And normally you're going to see at least on 15 minutes, you're going to see at least three of them where they go lower, but the RSI is higher. You're going to see at least three. Something similar to this one here, right? You hit the lowest point, yeah, you can get a bounce, but you go lower, and then you go another lower here. So, but there's a big bounce in between. So I don't think this is done from here. But I mean, this part, I think I could be wrong, that it doesn't bounce up on 15 minutes. So I would defer to the higher time frame and what I know always normally works, which is you get a bounce. Somebody will also say you already had the bounce because this thing bounced up to what 2224. It's possible that the bounce is over. So this part of it, I'm not 100% sure on it. And so, that it's 50-50 for me. It could bounce up some more, or it just could continue going down. That's possible. So it's 50-50. I'm not 100% sure on this one. All I know is this thing is done from a higher time frame perspective. It's done.
Mm,
The weekly is giving the stopping candle. We've done 5 levels on the MACD count. And I can also use RSI to count. We've also done 5 levels on RSI with 2 or 3 divergences on it. So gold is finished for me from that perspective. And again, it supports the risk assets also going up because when gold is falling, risk assets also, people want to put their money into risk assets, not buy gold. So gold is topped out from a higher time frame and needs a good correction, maybe back to maybe somewhere here, maybe to the tops, come and test the tops here and see if we get
mm.
support. So that's me rambling on. I've rambled on enough. That's my views on gold.
It's not a ramble. I mean, it's nice objective, view. And I don't disagree with you on gold. The only thing is the trend is still up, and there's strength to the up, but then there's bad news. All of these next week is critical. That's how I can conclude with gold. But my bias for gold is bearish at the moment with some caution. If you want to short gold, um, make your stop loss tight because we could also break through it. The the quest to break through it is minimal based on 12 hours. So go on 12 hours time frame and just go to then see why I'm saying so. So we are looking at gold GBP. And are you sure you're looking at the right one?
It's the same print, same print.
Are you sure?
Yeah, same print. It's just that the numbers are in dollars, one is in pounds.
Oh, okay. All
It's the
right.
same,
Okay.
same picture. If you go to the weekly,
Okay. No,
uh,
I see it better
hold
than
on,
the
hold on
one
a
you
minute.
showed first. The one you
Gold
showed was not showing
daily.
me what I was looking for.
Oh, gold. Where is it? Is that gold? Yeah, gold. Sorry,
Yeah, this is
gold.
gold. Yes. Gold for USD dollar.
Ah, oh no, it's different. Actually, it's
Okay.
different. Yeah,
All
you're
right.
right.
Thanks for letting me correct that because what I saw was not what I was looking at here.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
different. It's different. It's different. Okay, so on the pound chart on the Wanda, of course, I would buy the pound version of it. I wouldn't buy the dollar version of it, right?
okay.
So I done the analysis on the pound version because I don't have the pound. I don't have a dollar version on Wanda here to buy. I only
Oh,
have a
okay.
pound version. So,
Okay.
but yeah, of
Cool.
course. So this looks slightly different, totally different. You've got a triple green here, and you've got you know, you know. So yes, you could say there's more upside next week, or but you have a double top. So but yeah, this one looks different. So it needs a different analysis on it.
Okay. So all right. So let me give you my 2 cents on it, and then we can look at BTC next. So um, gold is one I would say you could go short, but with some stop loss or some caution because it could go up. It could break through this resistance based on the daily and the weekly setup. You know, it's not one I'll confidently take a short on yet, but high risk, high reward, right? So and this is the high risk, high reward. Based on the weekly, it could break through this all-time double top. Okay. Um, Momentum is there on the weekly. RSI is pointing up on the weekly. Um, you know, it could break through it, no question about that. However, is is there enough energy to break through it? I don't see it. Why? There's divergence. You look on the weekly double top, look at your RSI, double top divergence. You
Mhm.
go on 12 hours, you have a stopping candle on 12 hours. 12 hours, you have a shooting star.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is why I'm saying I could take a short, but I'll make my stop loss. I'll put a stop loss on it because it could fail based on the fact that it's not fully confirmed. This is what I'm saying. Next week is very critical for the market. Whatever happens next week, I don't know what is the event, but it's very critical on many fronts, from SPX to NASDAQ to gold, everything. Next week is critical for confirmation as to which way the market goes. Based on this 12-hour setup, I expect a pullback. I wouldn't call that a correction yet. I expect a pullback on gold. I don't expect us to open the next 12 hours and then go shoot right past this stopping candle when we have a divergence on it on the weekly, as well as I think on the daily. The daily doesn't have a divergence visible, but it's yeah, I don't see a divergence strongly on the daily.
I mean, but
But
there is, I mean, between here, you here, and you're here, there is. So if you look
okay,
at the RSI high here, so your RSI high, let me put the numbers on it. So RSI for the peak here is,
oh,
oh, come on, get off, is 73.29, and RSI currently here is 69.38, although it's gone slightly higher. So
mm,
that's a well, same place, same price, RSI lower than
okay.
this. It's a divergence there as well.
Okay, yeah, but then the caution I'm pointing out is that momentum is still there, you know. However, momentum is getting weak. Your histogram bars on MACD is getting slightly weak. It's not strong, so you could take a shot of gold and be quite okay. Again, on 4-hour setup, it's more visible, but the 4-hour shows a good divergence both on all indicators, RSI, MACD, as well as stochastic cycles. So I like that to give me some confidence that if I take a shot on gold, would I survive? I think I would.
Yeah,
So
you
I have a pullback.
you're right.
I have a pullback strategy on gold. I wouldn't call that complete reversal yet, but I expect gold to dip down probably to a target of let's say 27.54.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
27.54 target for gold. And depends
27.54.
on what happens there. If we break it all the way down from the 27.54, we're able to come all the way. Yeah, we could probably even come all the way down to 27.26. So I'll probably say 27.26 be a target for a short. 27.26 for gold.
27.56, yeah?
26. 27.26.
27.26. Okay, 27.26. Okay, cool.
27.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, 56 would be a nice place to find support. It's the 21 moving
I,
average on 4 hours, but
yeah, I think this is
I
gonna,
think
I'll
I
put
think
mine
we are making
here.
all the way down to the 50 period average.
Let me put mine here. 20 and 10. 27.10 will be my target.
For
Text.
27.10. So you were expected to come 27.10. Okay. 27.10. Yeah, I think I'll stick my head out somewhere around 27.26 to 27.30. At least somewhere there is where I'll think
Yeah. Okay, that's
27.
fine. I think we are in the
I'll
same
still
place.
stick to
We are
27.26. I think
we're
I think
still in the same place.
27.26 would be quite and if once we hit this 27.26, right, and we are not able to go back up to this double top high, then I can say gold for the short term is going to go through a nice correction as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's gonna come all the way. I mean, these are just minor pullbacks. Um, Ultimately, gold comes all the way here, somewhere. This base, this base here is my ultimate target.
Possible,
Um,
all
Even that
possible.
one is not ultimate. That's mini. This is phase one. Back to the 21 or the 20 KCs is drop one. This gives us drop two somewhere here, and then we have a third drop somewhere which meets the 200, and that'll be the full correction on it, and then we can go back up
Mm.
again. But we'll just track it on a. Let me get rid of this line here; it's not needed. We'll discuss it next week. Yeah. Okay,
Mm.
let's move on to BTC. BTC, BTC, almighty BTC. Okay, so BTC. Oh, just give me two ticks. I'm coming. 1 minute.
All right.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm back. Sorry. Um,
Mhm.
okay, BTC. Right. So BTC is I think there's more upside. Um, there's more upside on BTC. Um, but I think there's a pullback. There's a potential pullback into this box here, which sits around 91 between 93,000 and 90, somewhere, I'm calling 90,000. That top here, the top of this green candle. Um, it depends on how the week closes. The week isn't closed, so we need to go to 4-hour charts. And when you look at the 4-hour chart, it's either going to go sideways, it's either going to stay in this box and just go sideways for a move to the upside or collapse. Um, there's no real confirmation yet because we haven't broken any of the key line. The 50-day average hasn't been broken yet for me to say, oh, okay, it's going to go down. So I can't really call it here. I can't call it on it, and even 1 hour. We just we just slightly gone below the 50, and we bounce back, and we are kind of retesting it again. So I mean, my kind of my kind of view on Dixie Bitcoin is it's got some more upside. Did I make a notes on this? No, I haven't. I didn't do any notes on this, but I think I posted it on the platform this morning. Um, Potentially, come back down and retest that box here. The box down here is possible. We have this target box here sitting there as well, which is also possible. So it's a 50-50 call depending on how the week closes. So I don't really, the only thing I know is there's more downside on alts because of the others' dominance. That one I'm 100% confident on it, that, the alts are going to bleed some more before we go on upside. So Bitcoin, I don't really know what Bitcoin is going to do. That's a fact. I don't know. And I think I've been there before in the past where I'm not sure what Bitcoin is going to do. It's 50-50 call, and I go to the short side and then, disappointed. 100% disappoints me. So the others, the coins I'm trading are the coins which are not in the top 10 of the crypto market cap, and their dominance is what tells me whether we're going to go up or not. So that's the one I'm really focused on. And clearly, the weekly chart is printing more downside. MACD is going downwards. We have a daily dead cross, which is going to happen tonight. It's going to happen tonight. we are there 10.35, 10.35. It's going to happen either today or tonight, one of them. And sometimes when it happens, you get a small relief rally before the big dump happens. So there's another one here. I just show you the one that we had here. We had one here. So this was the one that we had. And so you could see that it's coming and we go down, 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 and we get small afterwards, we get small relief rally, but then dump again. We go down some more. So, when I look at the weekly, and I think we discussed this last week on our call, that, you know, I think there's more downside on this weekly chart. You know, if I count right from the top here, if I count right from the top, this is one drop, this is two, this is three. So where's my four and five? Don't have it. So we had a three and we bounced quite well. So where's four and five? We don't have it. So um, that tells me at least this particular peak here is going to be exceeded slightly. Um, Exceeded slightly, to maybe somewhere there. And then after that point, we get a good bounce. So my bias is, altcoins will bleed. Uh, yes, there's a good bounce on them coming because of the dead cross. And if it happens, it will give them after the drop, we're gonna get the bounce because we've kind of rallied into the cross coming. That rally has happened, and now you get dump. Then after the dead cross, you get a slight move to the upside, and then another dump. So you know, that's what I'm really looking at. Bitcoin, I don't really know. I'm not sure until the week ends or until we get more data on 4 hours. I don't really know. I can't tell. It's, I would say, sideways. But this particular one, I know it's going to fall some more. And then the dominance on Bitcoin as well is topping out. So it's beginning to top out. You know, there's divergences, you know, on the weekly chart. Is it the weekly chart or is it the daily chart? Where is it? So we got divergences starting to show up from here. So, it started showing up from there. So that was the highest peak of RSI. And, we went this peak here, but the RSI didn't go higher. So there's a divergence. And somebody may say the divergence is played out and you've come down. But if it's a correction, then it's supposed to come down some more. And we are still below zero on MACD. So I can only count one triple green on the drop. So there's more drops on this chart. Um, so dominance on Bitcoin will break down, and then, but not immediately, because I think if we look at the weekly chart, we'll say there's more upside first. There's more upside on it first before it collapses, which ties in with the other dominance from the perspective of there's more downside first, and then of course you can start exceeding kind of outpacing Bitcoin in terms of the altcoins moving up. So I know there's a bit more pain on the altcoins, which is not nice to hear. But that's the one I'm really tracking. Bitcoin, I really, until more data, I don't know. So that's what I would say.
Hmm. Like you said, yeah, the weekly close is critical for decision on BTC. Um, BTC has done a very beautiful double tap for me on all time frames. It's done a nice double tap. It's the kind of double tap that I like because you kind of exceed the previous high, but it's not able to continue the journey up. When you do that, kind of more like take out the stop losses of those that were short at over 108, and we're sitting pretty happy and comfortable, and now they've been knocked out. Um, so the shots have been squeezed out. But then after they got squeezed out, the bulls couldn't continue the journey up, and now we kind of have pulled back down. It's hard to call Bitcoin completely into a reversal mode, but first very sign is the double top. Second is if you go on 12 hours, you have after the pullback from the double top, which brought us down to what, about 1018 on 12-hour time frame, came to about 1018. We bounced back up to make a lower high. That lower high has given us a shooting star candlestick, rejection candlestick on 12 hours. However, the bears are still not strong enough to, make their move. So I concur with you that we could consolidate. We could be going sideways on BTC until probably the weekends, which is ending up maybe tomorrow into Monday. And even tomorrow into Monday, BTC's strength is not necessarily weak. So calling the downside is a very risky thing to say. However, it's showing weakness to the upside. A lot of weakness upside. The trend to the upside is still there, but it's showing weakness. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a very strong uptrend to break through the previous resistance. Could we go sideways and gather momentum and push through that resistance? Possible. It's one scenario one. But scenario two is a nice pullback to probably on the weekly time frame. I probably would say, okay, we could do a nice pullback. But it depends on how the week ends still. I mean, I'll concur that it still depends. If this week ends with a so far, we kind of building on the weekly, we're building a rejection candle. It's not complete, so we can call it a rejection candle yet. But if we get a long week by the end of Sunday, say price comes to close somewhere around 1023, thereabout. Or even 1023 or even 102. Okay. We kind of close somewhere there on the weekly. That would give me confirmation for more downside. But for now, I agree with you. It's hard to call.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Until
my
until they
take on the
until oh
BTC.
yeah, until these peaks here, like this 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 line that I've drawn here, these two trend lines, Bitcoin has to break through one of them. It was firmly defended at the bottom here, very firmly defended. It's come back. It didn't touch it yet. It didn't touch it. But it's going to break out of this at some point. Whichever way it breaks out, that will be the end. That will be confirmation of where it's going to go. Because these trend lines are all very significant lines. This one goes, the top one goes, it cuts across all the tops or the previous tops. So previous top, and then you just extend it. And that's exactly, it came to close to hitting that same spot. Very, very close. And then here, that's where the move started. So cut it from there, cut it across here, cut it across the previous top here, and just slice it through. And that gave us, the resistance for the bottom as well. So it's going to break out of it at some point. I think there's more, if I'm doing my count, then I'll say it's not finished because it's just one. This is so tiny. Even if I counted this two, and this is three, and this is four, then there's a fifth one left. So it's not done. From that perspective, from my way of counting, it's not done. There's one more big wave to the upside, which will probably then take us to wherever 160 or 150 or whatever it is, wherever we get to. Um, but there's definitely one more. The only thing is, are we going to come down below zero, which will be the pullback, to then go, which I think is probably going to be a more stronger move if it did that. But it could also do something like this here. It could be this, they could do something very similar to the way this thing played out, which is okay, everybody expecting MACD to come below zero. And this thing just got its steam and then finishes its move to the upside. So either of those two scenarios are possible. I, you know, if I look at the altcoins and look at how much they're falling, and I say, okay, you tag on what? Another. let's put it even 15%. Okay, 15%, or let's say even 30%. Bitcoin drop 30%. 30%, let's say, okay, we don't get 30%, we get 25%. That's 50% drops on all of these coins here, on all the altcoins. Some of them are already back to base. Like, like look at GOAT. No good, not good. Where is this one? Marshall's case. Like, look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's so bad. Like, if you added another 50% drop, which, okay, let's say even 20% equal to Bitcoin, 20%, 20, 25%, let's say 25%. I mean, you kind of ending going into minuses, like close to getting into the
So,
minus for the coin,
yeah, but
you know?
the thing is, so when you're looking at that, the possibilities that they do sometimes just go sideways, not real big sell-offs on it because there are no more like
Sellers.
there's no
There are
more
more
juice.
sellers. There are more
Okay, there's
sellers.
no
Like,
more juice.
okay.
There's no much juice in there. I mean, you can
Hmm.
look at some of the coins. Let me finish my thought on
Bitcoin.
BTC and then
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
can talk about other things. So the other thing that I wanted to point out on BTC, at least on the 12 hours, the reason why I'm saying there's no strength to the upside is my MACD is below zero on 4 hours, right? MACD is still below zero. RSI is quite weak as well. It's pointing downwards. And it's sitting on the 9-day period average as we speak. We could probably just consolidate sideways, as I was saying, with
Mm.
no strength to the upside until something kicks in. But for now, my stand on BTC is I'm more bearish than bullish based on what I'm talking about. But we need more closure, and I think by Sunday night we can get more information. Now we
Mm.
can talk about the altcoins that you're saying. Yeah, so some of them are at the base, and I was going to point out to you, say, if you look at let me look at this where is this one? Some of them like CRV, let me go to my crypto stock list.
I
Crypto,
mean,
crypto,
GOAT is the one
crypto.
you trade. You trade GOAT, so we can use GOAT.
Oh yeah, I trade good, and
So you
I play
can,
around with good.
we
It's not the only one
we
I'll
can look
probably
at
say I'll
GOAT.
do, but yes. So growth is at its base, and the fact that it's at its base doesn't mean it can go further down. It's not exactly at its base. Its base is all the way at point one. Okay, but that also doesn't mean we can go below point one.
GOAT,
Um,
GOAT is is back to base.
well, the base is at 0.123. That's the base.
Well, hold on a minute. No, it's below the base. Like on the business. Okay, which chart do you use? Because let's
I'm
go
using big get. I'm
Mexi.
using
Even if I go, okay,
big
okay,
get,
okay,
and go
okay, okay,
go on the
Mexi.
daily
Okay,
chart. Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
So
Mexi actually is the first place they launched it. So it started.
right,
The base is 0.094. So it's not there yet.
correct.
It's not there
Yeah.
yet.
So it's not right at the base. But could it be just, and the thing is, as it approaches the base, you realize that they do a lot of liquidations. This is one thing that I'm observing. So as more people sell into the base, yeah, price usually just you can see the candlesticks are just small, not strong selling anymore. But occasionally you will see the market maker do some liquidations of people who are shorting it. That's why I was sharing with you the other day, said the way some of these coins have got to their lows, shorting them is dangerous. Yeah, you could get some juice, but you could also easily get a quick but market maker move just to liquidate your shorts, because absolutely anyone who was short on and that day, I'll tell you what, a stop loss saved my life. I had a short on gold, but I had a tight stop loss on it because I always know that this is where we are dangerous. So I must be willing to accept the loss if I'm going to take a position, especially one that I'm going to sleep and wake up to the morning to see what happened. I'm going to stop loss at all. So sorry, everything was falling. Gold alone was 33% up. May
Yeah.
say what?
Yeah, you can
Well,
get those bounces. So those
maybe,
bounces,
maybe you can pause the recording now so that
okay.
these are other matters. So
Let me just
you
stop
don't need to record
recording.
other matters.